Hi everyone, it's Ray with the education team from Sperly Do's Kit Club, and today I'm going to share with you a start to finish layout using the 7 Dot Studio 9th Wave collection. We recently had a special order where we could have got this paper for subscribers, and there's actually some of this still left in the store as of October 2013, so if you want, you can check that out. So what I thought I would do is, I have this picture of this angel statue from a cemetery. I pulled it off of Google Images, and it said that it was from a cemetery in Poland, but it didn't have any sort of author, so I don't know who took the picture. I'm not stealing it. It wasn't me. It was just on Google. Just want to get that out there. Anyway, so to get started, this is my inspiration, and these are the papers I'm going to use. I am going to use Wavy Ocean and Seafoam, and also a piece of black cardstock for my background. And I usually try to gut my papers just so that I can get the most out of them, but I think this time I am not going to do that. And this is going to be my background that goes on here, and I'm not going to do too much with this except for I want to cut it down. And of course when I do that, I'm taking away the natural distressed edges of this, so I'm going to have to go back in and re-ink it. It's just going to go like that, and I think it needs to have some punching. I'm going to do some random punching around there. And I have this punch from EK Success, and I think I want to use that one, and I want to use this one from Michaels. It's a Recollections. And I also want to use a big deep edge punch. I love this one. I want to add a little bit of that on there. So the parts that I did not punch, I will make sure I take my distressor and get rid of those rough edges first. Pull that one off. I think I'm going to add a mask on here. I have this snow mask, and I just go ahead and line that up around over here. And I think I will use some embossing paste. I'm going to use this Wendy Becky embossing paste. Okay, so before I ink this, I'm going to let the masking dry a little bit and move on to my next layer. And for my next layer, I'm going to be using this piece of paper. And I thought I would use this round piece of cardboard just to give it some dimension. And so I'm going to trace this, and then I can just cut this out, and then I can save this piece for a layer for something else. So now that I have the edges off around here, I'm going to go ahead and take my piece of paper that's going to cover it, and I'm going to heavily distress it. So I'm going to take this Prima Distress tool, and I'm just going to go around the edges, and then I'm going to fold them up. And now put that aside and use some black paint, and I'm going to use Distress Paint in Black Suit. And because I got paint on my craft mat and I'm just trying to move it along here, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these plastic sheets. All of our kits come in these, the paper add-ons, Everything that you get from Swirly Doos comes in with one of these, so you can actually use it as a disposable craft sheet. So I'm going to use Paper Soft in Stone Gray, and I'm just going to go in. It's almost like Distress ink. If you haven't seen it before, it's a little different. It's a lot more blendable in my opinion, and I think you can get the job done quicker. That's just what I think. Distress ink definitely has its place though. And I'm going to go back to my first background, and I did this off camera because I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, but I actually sprayed this with Art Anthology in Fernleaf and Glimmer Mist in Patina, and it made some of those little dots show up from that snow mask. And so now I'm just going to go in again with the Paper Soft. So now these are pretty much my layers. I normally do more layers, but I kind of don't want to cover up this paper. I love it just the way that it looks. So, like I said before, I'm going to use that picture of the angel. And I'm going to put it on the back of this Blue Fern Studios chipboard. And all I did with this was I used some Martha Stewart Living Crackle Specialty Finish, which you can get at Home Depot. And I just basically put it on like icing in a cake. And then I lightly took some Antique Linen Distress ink just directly on there, and I put that over there. I didn't think you needed to see me do that, so I went ahead and did it anyway. But I am going to glue the picture on there. I'm going to use this Dusty Attic chipboard, and all I've done is take archival ink in jet black, wipe over it, and then I used some Tattered Angels in Black Magic. It has a gold mica in there, so it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to put that on there, and at this point I'm just going to be arranging how I want it to go. So I have a couple of other things I want to put on here. I've got this Prima Vine from a few years ago I'm going to put on there. And I think I'm going to do that. I do this a lot when I'm making a layout. I just put everything on there. I don't normally glue all of the stuff down, but I was pretty sure this is what I wanted to do, so I went ahead and took a chance. I've got some Martha Stewart lace that I think I want to go on there. That's a maybe. Okay, so I think I've pretty much planned about 90% of what I want to do. And I want to put this chipboard on here. I don't want it to be in the middle. For whatever reason, that's not appealing to me. So I want it to kind of come up here, off center. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to add my picture with my window chipboard. And I think before I glue it down, it needs some cheesecloth. When I put cheesecloth on, I don't really pay that much attention to gluing it down beforehand. I think for me, when I put the Fabri-Tac down on whatever I'm putting over the cheesecloth, it pretty much adheres it down. Just kind of softens up where that clock is and this other stuff, adding a couple of layers to it. And I think just for some added interest, I'm going to add these little Tim Holtz little clippers. Well, in the middle of deciding what I was going to do and talking, my camera died. So there's some things that you didn't get to see, but I'll just explain them to you really quickly. What I decided to do after I actually glued this piece down, glued the flowers down, is I decided I wanted to put some black swirls there. And then I put my title, which is "Always Believe That Something Wonderful is About to Happen." And I just used some of my word stickers, and then I got this from Heidi Swapp. That's a Heidi Swapp one. I did end up putting this on there, and I added some pearls onto the flowers right here. And the last thing that I did was I looked at my metal pieces right here, and I put some gesso on there, and then I lightly coated that with some Viva Precious Metal paint in Blue Lagoon. So that is the end result of the start to finish layout. I'm sorry that the end got cut off, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments at the bottom of the YouTube video. So be sure to go to swirlydeuce.com and check out our forums, and make sure you look at more videos on our YouTube channel. We're almost 200 videos now. So thanks for watching.